defiantly because your body is protected. But admit your thoughts are troubled.
Like tobacco in the cheek. All these fake fucks front like they can handle the heat, but when they jump in the bed, it's all Tabasco in the sheets. And ain't nothing to pop your top button. Quit your day job and throw your savings in the oven. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. Don't need the stress of a sanitized mess. Crooked frame on the wall, goddamn, we're blessed. Underworld egos in the silver work flesh. Best better rather not wear the S on my chest. You can't buy this feeling, in debt to the ceiling, but I'm swimming in joy. Oh boy, call my chameleon. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
Standing at the edge
of the earth and I'm screaming.
All of my friends are hotels for demons. Standing at the edge
of the earth and I'm screaming.
All of my friends are hotels for demons.
Listen to the cliche, bring the blood spray. Those killers buzzing, they got a tiger, get fair play. This is your mellow, my fella, it's like a bush and umbrella. You feeling fine, I'm like hella, I got some good vibes to sell ya. If you're even looking, just wanna play them now. Been living kinda crooked, I got it straightened now. We had a dream, they took it, who said they were allowed? We had a chance and blew it, no longer feeling proud. Ain't too much better than the pleasures of the flesh, but these wounds leave lessons, so don't be stressing the test. No need sweating blood, fighting with the best. When you got the cheat code of life thumping in your chest. Cut it off, fight through the down. Some wounds just need the time to bleed out. I know you think you really need it, but you don't. They say these scars will last forever, but they won't.
Standing at the edge
of the earth and I'm screaming.
All of my friends are hotels for demons. Standing at the edge
of the earth and I'm screaming.
All of my friends are hotels for demons.
Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. 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 Ooh, I've been thinking about these demons.
And these demons been thinking of me.
I've been thinking about my reasons, and these reasons are like pliers with a grip on my teeth. Yeah, I've been thinking about these demons.
And these demons been thinking of me.
Been dreaming all about the monster out me. Once I get a real taste of flesh on my teeth.
The prey that you say I am.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza, sliceonbroadway.com. And listeners like you, support this show at patreon.com/awesomecast.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said. Standing at the edge, screaming, all of my friends are
That's the latest song and video from Normal Creatures, and we're going to be talking with Brian Sikes Howe here on the show about that. It is the new year. It is the AwesomeCast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And man, I have withdrawal from doing my Tuesday night shows. We did one last night, and I got all the weird dancing out of the way. And so this is just going to be a normal, awesome cast. I'm sure of it. I need to stop taking these breaks over the holidays. It's not actually restful. But with me back, it's still the holidays for some of us. And Dudders, it is definitely still the holidays. Katie Dudas, the Dudders, our social media extraordinaire here on the show. How you doing, Katie?
Good. Yep, I still got my little mini tree, my festive tree, and my Grogu and Baby Yoda stockings behind me.
I love it. Well, there's always the I feel like everybody's keeping their lights up this year. I really hope that's the case. Like, just give me till March and then turn them green, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, the green will do. I don't know. We could decorate for every season, I feel like, with Christmas trees anymore, especially the Christmas sleigh.
Absolutely. And of course, as we've teased here at the top of the show, somebody who I've played back when I was in a rap group some 10, 15 years ago. We played some shows together, and he's still making the music, and I did some other thing. I know Miss Sykes. I've known Miss Sykes forever. Brian, it gets weird calling you by your first name.
You can call me Sykes. Sykes is totally cool. Brian is totally cool. Call me whatever you want. Just call me.
You, of course, the awesome Start the Beats podcast, and of course the Normal Creatures album, which we'll talk about here, is coming out here, and that awesome music video that we're checking out, and we'll be catching up with you. You're definitely staying busy during the pandemic here.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm usually pretty busy anyways, so it hasn't felt much like a pandemic yet.
Mm-hmm.
Once this album comes out this weekend and then I can't play shows, then it's probably going to be like, oh, dang it.
That does kind of break down the cycle, does it?
Yeah, because, I mean, honestly, we were getting ready to go into the studio and getting ready to do all of this stuff right when everything started happening. So I was like, oh, okay, well, good timing. But, I mean, still not good that it happened, but, you know.
Yes. Well, we'll touch base on that in the process and how you're doing a lot of cool stuff over there. But in the meantime, please, everybody go check out everything at awesomecast.com. You can hit us up on the email address, awesomecast@sorgatronmedia.com, for any comments or advertising opportunities we do have here with the show. Tweet us at AwesomeCast on the AwesomeCast Facebook page and group. I combined the words. So don't go to the AwesomeCast poop. That's something else that we haven't signed up for just yet. But
give us time.
Give us time. Yes. But no, the Facebook page and group, we have we share stories, a lot of stories and old videos and everything throughout the week, or the last 2 weeks, or vacation, or wherever the case may be. So I can remember what my awesome thing is from a week ago. I wanted to talk about, and you can, of course, please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app and watch the video versions through your Facebook or YouTube, or broadcast it to your TV through whatever device you have, or of course ask to play the AwesomeCast, or make it part of your routine maybe over on your Amazon Echo or Google Home, or I'm sure the Apple HomePod does something. I don't know. It's too expensive for me to get one to test. So I rely on Amanda Narcissi out there with Built Pittsburgh to give me the tips on that one. And also, we are here live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook Live, on the AwesomeCast YouTube page, and over on the Sorgatron Media Twitch page. So whatever is easiest for you to be a part of. Well, a lot of people are, of course, usually hanging out on our Facebook page for this on Tuesday night. I see Dave Potter out there already. What's up, Dave? And sometimes my mom stops by, so you can talk to Mom Sorg directly in the chat room. Thanks to our streaming partners, our friends at the405media.com and postindustrial.com. They're helping get the Awesome Cast out there. Thank you to Patreon supporters, our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, John Carmen, and new Patreon supporter. She had so much fun when she was on the last show, the year-end show 2 weeks ago. Cynthia Klosky has joined us on the Patreon Coffee Club. And thanks to our friends at the Fan of the Show level, Michael Fedor, pgasmuseums.org, the Professor Buzzkill Podcast, and Dave Podner. You guys can support the show too at patreon.com/awesomecast. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. Katie, I said I feel like this is a week late because everybody probably had some drinking fun havings, even if they weren't in large groups for New Year's Eve. But you have an app to help us get through that better.
Well, yeah, and stay hydrated after we do all the drinking
right.
that we're doing at home. So I feel like every year I start off the new year with, I'm going to drink more water. And then it doesn't last very long because all drinking more water does, I swear, is make me pee more. So that's all it does.
Then you get annoyed that you have to pee all the time. And you're like, well, I'm going to stop doing this.
Yeah, exactly. So I found this app and, looking for a drinking app. Drink water. It's Drink Water Drinking Reminder because there's 8 million drink water apps, and it took me a minute to find it to share the link with you. But what I like about it, it's free, which is a bonus. The variety of drinks you get at the free level, where you can input, like if you've had coffee or if you've had juice or a different, milk and the different kinds of milk you can have, and diet drinks and crushed fruit. So even like your Slurpees are in here, so you know that this all adds up and adds up to being water for your body. And like I said, there's not many that give you this many options at the free level of different kinds of drinks to add to your drinking levels. And then you can see where I'm at throughout the day and this little handy dandy meter. But also the other thing I like about this is the reminder shows up every 2 hours, and I customized it. So it just says chug every 2 hours, and literally I grab my bottle and chug water if I haven't already, drank enough for the day. And but it's not annoying because some of the other drink water apps I found, like their notifications are annoying, like defeat the norm. Like literally, I think that was one of the ones that popped up in another app, and I was like, I can't deal with this every hour. But like every 2 hours of me getting a notification that says chug, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you don't want something that like just bugs you every like 10 minutes to drink another thing of water, right? Like it's just like, can I just get this out of the way? So do you find, does that help your, like, are you adjusting accordingly with it a little easier?
Yeah, I find it easier. I don't feel it's not as overwhelming to try to drink the amount of water I need to drink in a day because, my juice drinks and my coffee and everything adds up to at least a little bit of water in this app. So that makes it feel a little less overwhelming. Like I don't have to drink, however much, 100 some ounces, or I'm not even sure the exact amount I should be drinking. Around 100 ounces sounds great to me, of water a day. And also just like I said, the reminder every couple hours, because time doesn't matter in a pandemic when you're stuck at home and it's dark at 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. I don't have any clue what time of day it is. So it's been nice to have that just reminding me to like, oh shoot, I should just drink a bunch of water real quick.
Absolutely. So I want to point. So I was trying to find the same app. This is the one by Toco Limited at TOHCO. And I was wondering if they had one also over on the Android. No, there isn't. But there are going to be. If you don't like this one, there are a lot of drinking reminder apps. Holy crap! I haven't seen this many apps since there were fart apps on iOS. You're going to find one. But again, I guess it's the quality of them is going to be limited. So I'm always interested when we find these one-off apps like this about checking out what other apps they've done. It's real. They're, by the way, so this Toko, which could be one dude, you know, in Singapore or something for all we know, but he has there's a bubble shooter, there's a pedometer, so if you like his drinking app, maybe you'll like his take on a bubble shooter, a pedometer, and a keyboard, and a karaoke app. Wow, this is MP3 cutter. This is a lot. So
variety.
Take that for what it is. So yeah, you always wonder about that. So my awesome thing of the week is, listen, I'm a Batman fan. Don't we all want a grappling hook? You know, the grapple gun. And apparently there's been multiple takes, but one that caught my attention this week is, and this is more, if you're familiar with Just Cause, or I am familiar with the Assassin's Creed Syndicate game, where they have the kind of arm grappling hook situation, and you know, you grapple through. And also I played a lot of Batman recently, so there's that same functionality. But this was a fellow over at Built IRL on YouTube that did work on his own grappling gun hook thing, and there's about an 11-minute video of him testing it, and it's really awesome when he's actually like going, like you see him kind of messing with the you know, the mix and everything of you know, prototyping this thing. And I think he had helped another channel, you know, try working on theirs for a little bit. There's something like 10,000 horsepower that he had going on here. The biggest thing, like I always, and he says he's trying to, you know, entirely mimic that idea of you shoot, hook, swing, and let go, like you're probably used to in a video game. But he's gotten a little, and this is actually something he'd been working on for a year. And there he is, just zooming up a tree to the branch, and it's getting there. So I don't know, Katie, I don't know if you had a chance to look at this video or any of the other grappling hook prototypes going on.
I'm watching it right now, the one you on the awesome. That's amazing. I want to try.
Brian, have you seen any of these prototypes?
Absolutely not, but I'm watching it now as well, and it is rather exhilarating. You know, in a time when it seemed so easy for the world to seem like such a terrible place, little nuggets of joy come out like this. And you know, luckily, if it all goes bad, if it all goes south, we could just grappling hook our way out of the terrors.
Yeah. So when we're, you know, we're all expecting to go completely Mad Max with this, but now imagine Mad Max with grappling hooks.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any buildings left to grappling up.
That's true. That's true. Somebody pointed out 2021 was the year that Mad Max was set in. So. So anyways, so no, go check that out. Again, it's Built IRL is the channel if you want to check out that video, and it's the testing my grappling gun Built IRL. So so Sykes, your awesome thing is you got an album coming out here. You kept yourself, as we said, busy during the pandemic, have a music video and everything to it. Tell us a little bit about Normal Creatures, because I remember you as a solo artist. There's been Sykes and the New Violence. There's been several iterations of what you've been doing musically.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, you know, way back in, you know, the late 2000s, playing rap shows with people such as yourself, getting started in the music scene. I didn't really know anybody, and then over time, you meet people that play instruments, you get a band together, then all of a sudden I have a band, and then more time passes, and then you put out some albums, and more time passes, and over the course of time, you kind of feel like you need a change up. You need to switch things up after so long. And that's kind of what happened, and what brought about this whole Normal Creatures thing was I had been making music under the name Sykes for so long that I just kind of wanted a fresh coat of paint. And also it got to a point, you know, I was working with a group of really, really talented people, but it was just Sykes and the New Violence. But it didn't feel fair to them because it's like, you know, it's all of us together. It's not me and them, it's us. So did the name change, and that's about it. And here we are.
Awesome. I've been checking out some of your videos here, and this is one from a bit ago. Did you do? Is this? Am I looking at a video? Did you do a socially distanced music video at some point here?
Yeah, we actually we recorded. This was actually like live recordings where we had the drummer track all the drums, then send it to the bass player, track the bass parts, then he sent it to the guitar player, he tracked the guitar stuff, then sent it back to me and tracked the vocals, and everything was filmed multicam, just all sent everything to, and then sent it all to me, and I edited it all together, and it was a fun little sort of thing to do. But yeah, it was definitely a quarantine live thing that took about a lot longer than it should have, to be honest, but between getting everybody to actually do it and figure out how to make everything work and all that stuff and get the files sent over. But it happened. You can do this now. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely. So you know, we were talking about earlier about how this kind of timed out well. Like the pandemic started, you were already kind of set to kind of start work on an album and start creating this this content for this here. So talk about, you know, you of course, you know, you're an independent artist, you know, there's so many tools to be doing that these days. I mean, if I could make an album in 2007, I can't imagine. I mean, well, we're seeing what you can do these days. So it's become so much more accessible. So, you know, was it kind of a release with everything going on during it? Did it influence the album a bit?
You know, I mean, so much of the stuff had already been written. It was just like, well, now we got to figure out how are we actually going to record this. So it's like, you know, finding all of these like nuggets of time where it's like, is it okay for us to hang out and record this? Do we do like one person at a time, wait 2 weeks, record somebody else? Like all this like kind of nagging sort of stuff when we were trying to figure out like the best way to actually record these songs. Everything was written, everything was ready to go. But you know, it was nice just being able to focus on getting the stuff done and not be distracted with shows or feeling rushed. Also, had it not been a pandemic, I probably would have tried to get it done a lot quicker so we could play shows before the summer, instead of just like, well, we'll just record all the way through the summer because nobody's going anywhere. And I think everything turned out a lot better as a result. And the thing that's been cool too is that we've been putting together so much video content because there aren't shows to play. And it's like, I don't think we would have put together this content otherwise. And it's cool because this stuff's on the internet forever. But like the shows, like people might film the show and post it, but it's not going to look like that video you just played. So it's cool to at least have that out there for people to discover us.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about this music video, because it's got a really cool style to it.
The video was, I came up with the concept. I shot it with my friend Nathan King, and I edited it and did all the effects and everything for it. It was really just like, I had a Google Doc sheet of all these random ideas for a music video. And I was like, how can I put all of these ideas together and make something happen? And granted, I didn't use everything that was in the doc, but I like scripted something together and just like put together a story in Adobe Premiere, actually, with Google Image. So I just went to Google Images and like basically storyboarded a version of this music video to like make sure the timing and make a narrative that makes sense. And then after that was done, I like brought my computer to the video shoot and like literally used that as like, well, we got to film this thing now, this thing next, this thing next. I had like each scene on a different channel in Premiere. So we just went through each channel, like, okay, everything that's in this corner of this room, we got to do now. And then, I don't know, not to like get into the weeds of how I shot this video, but yeah, it was just like a bunch of silly ideas that we kind of put together and shot in a day. Actually, the whole shoot was maybe only like 3.5 hours. It was
Mhm.
really, really quick because it's so much green screen. It was a lot more time editing.
I'm familiar with the process. I've been doing a lot of music videos over the last several years with Nick Iben. That again, just kind of like a lot of like hey, can we do something like Metallica's One video and things like that, right? And some are performance videos, some are kind of narrative videos, like trying a lot of different concepts. It looks like you threw every concept at this.
Yeah. I
love
just,
it.
I knew that I wanted to tie in the album artwork because like we had
Mhm.
the album artwork before the video. The album art, so I was like, okay, like, I had all of these ideas, and then the thing that like really clicked in my head was like, oh, what if everybody gets put inside the album cover? And the one thing that actually wasn't on the album cover is there's like that green triangle road with the bodies running on the bottom of the album cover. That got added after the music video because those images are actually from the video shoot, and I added it into the cover afterwards, which it brought, I don't know, it was a happy accident, but that's the case with most art, I think.
That's awesome. So you're doing this. You're still doing the Start the Beat. I keep pluralizing thing. I apologize. Start the Beat podcast as well. Tell everybody that's not familiar a little bit about what that show is.
Yeah. So Start the Beat is a podcast. I brand it as a. Can I say the A word? Am I allowed to swear on this?
Yes. We get one swear per show.
Okay, well, it's a wholesome ass podcast highlighting underground entertainment in the Pittsburgh area. And I've been doing the show since 2014. I'm really close to 400 episodes. I'll probably hit that soon. It's been cool. It's a lot of fun. I just talk with artists, musicians, comedians, restaurateurs, YouTubers, photographers, whatever. It's not music exclusive. It's not Pittsburgh exclusive anymore either, but for the most part, that's about it. So yeah.
Yours always seemed to be kind of an in-person podcast. It felt like anytime I've checked it out, and of course, I've noticed you've been doing more remote. Has that been kind of a challenge to switch up to that for you?
Dude, it's awesome. I love not having to go anywhere or do anything.
Current case in point.
Yeah. I had a studio for a while. And to be fair, whenever I can, I will probably get another studio. The goal is I want to have a space where bands can actually come in and perform while I'm interviewing them. And I was actually about to move into a space right before all of the pandemic stuff happened. That was the thing. That was going to be working on the new podcast studio and recording this album. Those were going to be the two, the winter 2020 plan. That was what was going to happen, but it didn't. Recording remotely, it was a little weird for the first couple episodes, just figuring out what platform to use and how to connect things. I'd never used OBS before in my life, so I had to learn that. But luckily, during the pandemic, I was recording 3 episodes a week, so I learned really, really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks great. It looks awesome, and it's amazing that's OBS too. That's a lot of cool visualization that's going on over there. That's great. So
I have to laugh because I'm watching the show on my phone to see the captions and things, and it was Wholesome Ants, ANTS podcast. So you have a Wholesome Ants podcast.
Yo, Wholesome Ants. That sounds like a Disney franchise. What, those ants? No, it's DreamWorks. That's not Disney.
I think
A Bug's Life is Disney.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Am I mixing this up?
They both had one. They both actually had one the same year for some reason.
I know. Yeah, A Bug's Life was Disney, right? Ants is DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
But that's awesome. So I got to bring up because I think the last time we hung out was at our friends that I don't think they're doing the show anymore at Thrifty Podcast. You were doing these awesome. They were like podcast house parties, it seemed. Yeah. And you told a great story about Mortal Kombat.
Oh yes. Should I dig into this again? Just
just the short version of it.
So Mortal Kombat, I basically is the reason why I've done anything in my life productive. I started drawing Mortal Kombat characters with a friend of mine in grade school, and that got me into art. And like I was like making my own comic books and like drawing what my website would look like. And from there I got into doing like graffiti and stuff, which introduced me to the hip hop community, which introduced me to like start making music, and blah blah blah, the ball rolls down the hill. And that's pretty much it. But it all started with Mortal Kombat in some way. And then I realized that, and I got the logo tattooed on me when I was like maybe 18 or 19 years old, and it was really just because of that. I had that realization that I had Mortal Kombat to thank for all of the nonsense I had gotten into. I'm not even really that good at Mortal Kombat. A lot of people think that I'm like some Mortal Kombat savant and like want to challenge me, and I'm like, yo, it's a whole nother thing. It has nothing to do with actually liking the game. It's just kind of a symbol of my roots, which says a lot. But hey, I'm a child of the 90s. What do you want?
Excited about the new movie coming out in a couple months that I think we've seen nothing about yet, right?
Yeah, you know what? I keep hearing about it. I really haven't seen anything. I'm excited. I'll go see it. I don't hold a whole lot of personal investment in like new pop culture or like reinvigorated franchises. Like, I don't care. You can ruin the Ninja Turtles. You can ruin Star Wars. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I have all of this stuff from when I was a kid. It doesn't make much of a difference. Although The Mandalorian was tight, and I was very thankful for that. But yeah, I mean, if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, that's totally fine. I mean, I like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, to be honest with you. I just, I kind of enjoy garbage things to some degree. Like,
I think and Mortal Kombat was never a series that took itself seriously. So
yeah,
when you make a movie that doesn't entirely take itself seriously, like that's kind of okay.
Yeah, I feel like if you're like going in, if you're about to open your mouth and say something critical about Mortal Kombat Annihilation in the same way that you would judge like, I don't know, like Requiem for a Dream, like this isn't some cinematic art piece, this is like some Darren Aronofsky film. It's a movie about a video game. Like,
and at this
what
point,
do you want?
And at this point, a video game that included babalities and friendships.
Yeah, totally. Great point.
And you're just like, I'm going to get weirded out when they turn into like, well, they turn into dragons or something at the end or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The animalities.
Animalities. Thank you.
Yes. The CG is quite bad, but it is good because it's so bad it's good as far as I'm concerned. Nobody's going to take that away from me.
That's awesome. Again, if people want to check out what's going on with you, where can they find out the album and everything else?
So yeah, this Friday, everything will be out. You can go to our website. It's just normalcreatures.net. And if you're somebody that's into hanging out on Facebook and live streaming stuff, we're having a fake stream on Friday night. It's our album release party. And we're calling it a fake stream because it's already been filmed and edited and produced, but it's still going to be live. And there's some other dumb gimmicks that we have tied into it too that I don't want to spoil. But yeah, that's Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook.com/normalcreatures, or just go to normalcreatures.net and there's a link to the event in there as well. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, hang out. We got a lot of more awesome things to talk about. In the meantime, I want to chat with. I said hi to them. I did chat with my friends a couple hours ago at Slice on Broadway, our friends supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Back when we used to have a bunch of people in the studio, it's been really lonely around here. So it's just me and a cardboard cutout of Sasha Banks and C-3PO. That sounds really bad and lonely and sad, actually, the more I think about it. But in the meantime, we still got our friends that I get to visit once a week at Slice on Broadway. Our friends up here in Beachview, Carnegie, and the East End. They've been, again, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Most of our 10 years of the Awesome Cast, I guess going on 11 this summer. But thank you so much to those guys for supporting the show. So let's get into some awesome things. First of all, I suppose we should. No. I don't want the sad story. We'll hold off the sad story. Podner actually shared this one. Dave Potter in the chat room shared this over on the AwesomeCast Facebook group. I'm not going to play them because they get a little raunchy, but if you're familiar with Leslie Jones, I just found out she did Supermarket Sweep, the new one that came out. Thanks, Hulu. But Saturday Night Live, she was in the Ghostbusters reboot movie from a few years ago. Don't judge. And she apparently has a YouTube channel. You guys know Rate My Skype Room, right? I mean, since everybody's been Skyping into every show, and they give a rating of like what your background looks like, right? She on her account has been rating Skype rooms in Leslie Jones fashion. Like I was listening to one, and she's like, this lady has a house like my aunt, and breaking it down like that. If you're familiar with her humor, and I don't know if she's just been home too long and just finally broke down, but this is just what her Twitter account has become lately. Actually, hold on a second. Wait, these are all within the last hour. She's done like 3 of them within the last hour from MSNBC. What the hell? So that is fully convert. This is all she does now. This is all she does. This is all today. Wow. There's like hours of content here. But yeah, it's just her filming the TV and her commenting over it. Here, so she's just, I think, just Leslie Jones on, Les Dog with 3 G's on Twitter, if you want to look her up.
The bar
It's
for
great.
what has become mainstream entertainment is so low. The barrier of entry is like so easy for anyone. So if you want to like do this, if anybody wants to be a creator, now's the time. Just get in. Sink your teeth in now, because people are finally actually, it seems they're more willing to engage with things like podcasts and just random nonsense.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is, like, we look at what we're doing here right now, and when we turn on primetime television, it looks the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, wait a minute, you have a multi-million-dollar studio. We have a multi-$100 studio. Okay, 1,000, but but here, and it's like, what is happening here? I'm sorry, Katie, you were about to say something.
Oh no, I was just gonna say her stuff's hilarious. Like I just like watching her just like make comments about people and things on TV. Oh, it's amazing.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. That's where I mean, I feel like this always happens, but like your Sarah Cooper that was doing the voiceovers of Trump, and then she had a Netflix special that was something different. So, well, actually, no, they did do. It's weird. It works really well on TikTok, but when you actually have production behind doing the voiceovers, it seems like, I don't know, some of the charm seems to be gone. You know what I mean? So, but hey, she's gotten some great opportunities with it, but. So that was a fun one that Dave had shared earlier, and what Katie, you have, it looks like you have a tip here, because
Yes.
I have a feeling it's going to be a weird couple of days on Twitter, and with all the news and everything, and I won't say why, but you have a tip to help doom scrolling.
Yeah, I thought this was a neat idea. It's basically it's called app jail, and you create a folder on your phone. No matter what kind of phone you have, you can create a folder, and you put all your social media ones, especially the ones you doom scroll, into one folder, and you can call it app jail and get some sort of fun name for it, because I feel like that makes everything better. And just put timers on all of your apps for a minute or two. Like go into your settings where you can go and you can limit the amount of time you're on a certain app, and limit it to like 1 or 2 minutes. And then it tells you you've run out of time. So then it just stops you. And then you could just do, if you go back into it, do a couple minutes more, because most phones are able to do that. Just go, remind me again in a minute or one more minute, to help you stop doom scrolling. So hopefully you can get to the things you want to see very quickly and avoid the things you don't want to see. This would also help if you've curated your feed so you're only seeing things you want to see. Smiley, like throwing back to our conversation. Was it like, I think it was last week? Was it last week?
Last week is when it was out. Yes.
Yeah, we were curating our feeds, so we just put things in there that we enjoyed instead of making it a harsh environment. And but yeah, I thought this was fun, calling it an app jail.
It is. So
them all in there.
This is something that I did for. So yeah, we did a social media special last week, the two of us, and there's several clips out there, which we've actually had a lot of great responses on a couple of those clips as well. And one of those was about how to make your Facebook and Twitter feed nicer. It's going to take some active effort on your part, of course. But this is actually something I did, especially just when things were so bad. I started a folder. Basically, the big thing was, because I feel like I checked my mail on Sunday night, because my mail is at the bottom of my phone, so it's like it's a reflex while I'm sitting there watching TV, and then Missy's like, why are you responding to a work email right now? It's Sunday at 9:00. And I was like, well, I saw it, so yeah, so having that extra folder that you don't automatically just, hey, okay, Facebook is here, I'm going to go into and check it, even though there's really no reason for me to be doing that right now. Until I would recommend moving the folder every once in a while, so that extra folder doesn't become a muscle memory for you. Anything that puts a barrier in there that you find that you're doing that. Now, Katie, I have a question. So I don't know. So on an iPhone, and now there's apps that do this on the Android. How do I limit my app time on an iPhone?
Oh, let's see. I think it's in your settings. Is it screen?
Is it the screen time stuff?
Yeah, screen time, app limits, set time limits for apps, and then it's in there. And then you can add it. You select. You can either select it by category, or you select it and then go social, and then I select maybe TikTok, Twitter, blah blah, so on and so forth. And it reminds me that like I have each of them. I have like an hour every day. I mean, I still go past a lot of these apps, but at least I know it's been an hour. Like I said, time doesn't matter anymore. And I think this is something that I'm figuring out, that I have for years, I was working multiple jobs. So I was a master of multitasking, and I felt like just sitting there was just wasting time, when I could be sitting there watching a show while I answer my email, and I could be doing 10 things at once. And then that's a really hard, like talking about a cycle to break, that's a really hard cycle to break, when you're like, oh wait, I can just sit here and watch this show and focus on what I'm doing and not having to worry about multitasking.
Yeah, that's something that I've struggled with for a while too. Just like, hey, see what's going on and doing that kind of thing. And again, answer emails or posting, social media that I need to for the day or something like that for sure. So my problem is, if I sit there, just watch a show, and if the show isn't engaging enough, or there's like, we're on Hulu again, we got like the $2 Black Friday deal, so we have commercials, and that just, my attention is like, okay, I need to grab a phone. If it isn't enough attention, even though it's the middle of the day and for no reason, I will want to doze off. That's the issue I found. This has been a thing for a couple of years now. So it's like my body stops and it's like, oh, it's bedtime now, and that's another thing. But Sykes, do you set any boundaries for your social media use?
Honestly, I don't think I'm too bad with it. I'm really good at just like posting something and then just putting my phone to the side and just kind of moving on to the next thing. I notoriously don't know where my phone is. I spend a lot of time not remembering where I left it. I'm really good at forgetting it exists, which is good and bad. It's good for these sorts of things that we're talking about. But it can be bad, because I do miss a lot of important emails at times. Not that, like, I'm not a doctor. This isn't Grey's Anatomy or anything. I don't need to get to the hospital. I'm just, somebody's asking me about like, a podcast or something. So usually it's pretty chill. But in terms of like when I'm on it and things like that, I've gone out of my way a long time ago to kind of curate my feed. I have no problem unfollowing or unfriending someone. I am a firm believer that, we create our own hells in terms of the social media. And it's like, I don't care. If you're a family member, if you're somebody that's in a band that's cool, I don't care. If you suck online, you suck online, like that's it. It doesn't matter. It's that. Maybe it's personal, maybe it's not. But if you're putting stuff out there that, it's like, I don't know what happened where everybody felt like we had to be friends with everybody.
Yeah, it's one of those, the worst people in the world may live right next to you, but you have walls.
Yeah. It's like, why do I have, like, I'm on why do I have 3,500 Facebook friends? That's unreasonable. That's no.
Oh, I don't.
Why? Who are these people?
Yeah.
And why am I letting them ruin my day with their inane garbage that they like to post?
Oh,
so.
it's a very like, I don't know how, like, I'll go through, somebody will start popping up on my feed, and it's either about their life with people I don't know, and just like, I don't need this. Doesn't help anything right now. No, absolutely. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just think it's hard for people like us that are like doing podcasts and like, you meet people that have other podcasts or people in wrestling or people that do this or that. And like, we're in the industry, we're in the biz. So we want to be like connected with these people. Right. But over time it can get really exhausting because the majority of these connections aren't really connections. They're just like, we met them once and then nothing's ever going to happen from it. But I don't know. We're chasing the dragon.
Either way, it's something that and that's, it doesn't even have to be somebody that's doing a podcast or something else. Just that idea of, I'm just a person in the world that has a Facebook page, and I have to friend everybody in the world. That just, that mindset I think needs to change. But it gets encouraged by the platform. Say, don't you want more friends? Here's some more. Hit follow. Next thing you know, you find out that they become toxic to your feed because of whatever's going on. Then just remember that unfollow button is there. I always say it's like, it's really, if the issue is that like you can't get off the app, you have a bigger problem than the app. Yes, and also it does feed some of that too. Just
put it away.
Just like the reason.
Throw it in a drawer. Go watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Forget about the world for a little bit.
There you go. I've and to that, one of the things that are kind of plays into that are freemium games. I took a hard line a couple of years ago to delete every freemium game from my phone. And I was playing this is like the WWE, more like the WWE NetherRealms fighting game that was on my phone. That was really cool. Immortals, the Immortals mobile game, because I didn't have a new console, or not Immortals, Injustice, the Mortal Kombat 10 mobile game. Transformers had a fighting game. Avengers Academy was this click and build things kind of thing. That stuff where you have to grind or pay money. And I never paid for money for anything like that. Like everything except for Mario Kart and Pokemon Go went.
So you want to know the game that I've been playing on my phone recently that was inspired by the pandemic? This game is called look up exotic recipes and buy the stuff on my Whole Foods Amazon Prime account and have it sent to my house so I could just come just in this fever dream at 2:00 in the morning buying some stuff that I have no reason to buy, and then the next day I was at my doorbell rings. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm making pad thai tonight. I guess that's the game I'm playing.
That is you're not the first person I've heard of that just said I just ordered stuff at 2 a.m. and don't remember, and then
it's not that I remember when it happens.
Right.
I might forget for a little bit.
Yeah, it's just not present of mind, So No, yeah, I think we've all developed some interesting new habits. From
I don't know if I'm ever going to a grocery store again.
no.
Have you ever had groceries delivered to you? It is
Instacart?
awesome.
Instacart
It is awesome.
is my lifeline right now.
I will gladly give them a $20 tip to go through all of that.
Mhm.
No problem. Please
I
save the time.
Well, I've often said, I listen. Before the pandemic, going to Whole Foods gave me anxiety. Okay,
Sure.
going to Giant Eagle Market District gave me anxiety. I'm like, I cannot spend an afternoon to get food for the week. You know, that just does not work for me. You know, mentally, energy wise. All that kind of stuff. It just does not work for me and puts me in a bad place. And now it's like, oh no, we don't have to do this. And you know, somebody else has a job. Great. You know, that's fine.
You know, some stuff about the grocery store that I like, not that you asked, but I really like the produce section. It's always fun to see what's in season, and I'm being very genuine about that. I get a kick when I'm like, oh, hey, look at those sprouts. They're really green. Or like when there's like a new Triscuit or Cheez-It flavor, because like people have ADHD with their snack food now, and it seems that we need new flavors every other week. Have you seen Pop-Tarts in the past couple years?
No.
There's enough Pop-Tarts to fill the entire waterfront. Like they have every ding-dong flavor you could ever possibly imagine of Pop-Tarts. And it's fun to look at that stuff. But it's okay. I don't have to go to the store.
So really, you just need to go window shop at a grocery store.
Yes. I mean, it's fun to see this stuff, and I like. But my I guess my productivity side of me is like, well, if I'm here, I'm gonna buy enough food for an army. And then all of a sudden, I have all these sprouts that I can't eat before they go bad, and a bunch of Pop-Tarts I don't even like because I'm not much of a sugar eater.
There you go. Well, bring it back to social media.
Yeah, sure.
Wow, that was
Sorry.
amazing rat hole. That was great. So Twitter. Speaking of Twitter doing things, Twitter acquires social media podcasting app Breaker, that team to help build Twitter Spaces. So I'm rereading this, and I thought like, oh, they're buying a podcasting. So there you go. Also, Katie, are you aware of Twitter Spaces?
Is it? I can't figure it out. It's like an audio thing, like we're chatting. I don't know. It's not necessarily a podcast, but it's.
That was
I don't know, audio-based social media.
That was a good test because I'm still trying to figure it out too, and I've read it, you know, from reading the articles about this stuff. So, you know, I remember Web 2.0. I was like, it's a this that does this. It's the Uber of this. It's the MySpace of this, and everything like that, right? And now it's just like it's word salad. That doesn't mean anything, and you're just like, is this just going to go away like that? And that's why Periscope just got shut down, or is getting shut down. So I mean, we pulled our resources out of that. That's why I'm sharing YouTube links to Twitter now. But it's, I don't know, social broadcasting app that doesn't land anything with me. I don't know. Twitter seems to be the worst at trying to diversify. They're trying to, I get they're trying to be like how Facebook has done the Instagram thing and the WhatsApp thing. So Twitter doesn't, when people decide that 240 characters doesn't work anymore, or their biggest tweeter gets kicked off the thing in 20 days. You know what happens after that, right? So I don't know. I don't know, man. I do feel like Twitter's just becoming like going to become MySpace with this.
I hope. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I loaded my old MySpace today, actually.
I am so exhausted at every social media platform trying to be every other social media platform. It's like everybody went to school one day and was like, yo, I like that hat. I like that. Like everybody went to school wearing an outfit that made sense. And then they all saw each other and came back the next day just wearing outfits that didn't make sense. And
you get weird amalgams. I did kind of go off about stories and and Reels and TikTok on last week's special edition. It's just like it's literally like part of my thing because I'm trying to figure out what people are actually looking at because you got to keep up on the new things, right? It's just like, okay, how many times am I posting those short videos for AwesomeCast at this point? I think I have about 14 different places I'm posting. Like if you see there's been these clips we've been doing lately, right? If you see one of those in a day, know that has been posted about 10 other times in other platforms.
I believe it.
So
I believe it.
But you don't know where people are anymore.
Yeah, it's you have, all of you have to post to so many different things, and it's exhausting. I don't know how to put it other than it's just exhausting. It is so hard to be a creator, and I also hate how it changes like the content that you create. I mean, this is long form discussion. Why am I going out of my way to find the perfect 15 or 30 seconds to advertise, a 2-hour long conversation? It's completely ridiculous. Not that I think it's fine that there are people that have that platform and can do their little dances or their fun little videos. Like all that stuff's cool. That's just not the content that I make. Yeah. But I hate feeling like forced that like I'm feeling like part of me needs to create that stuff or else nobody's going to watch my content. But the people that like 15-second content probably aren't gravitating towards podcasts anyway. So am I wasting my time? I don't know. I ask myself this all the time.
Oh, so see, now we're getting in the weeds here a little bit. Katie, bail us out if we get too deep. But no. So my philosophy has been, it's an hour podcast. Well, that's not as accessible for people to jump into. Listen, somebody would have really loved our conversation about Mortal Kombat and Pop-Tart flavors in the middle of this show that's supposedly about technology, right? But they're not going to go. My Mortal Kombat people aren't going to find it in the middle of the show where we talked about Twitter trends. So it's just,
in 2021 Mad Max world or Mad Max, not Mad Max. Mad Max world.
That sounds delicious.
Pop-Tarts are going to be high technology.
I want to go back to the Mad Max world because that means we all get Gobberitos, right? So
I want to live in Goblerito Town.
That's right. Damn it. We got to move on. Let me get out of the social media section here. We got
a sea of black bean dip.
All right. Lastly, we're going to pour it out for two things. One, Quibi died in 2020, was born and died. It was the wrong year because the whole idea was you're going to watch on your phone and only your phone, whichever way you want to hold the phone in the line at the bank. Then we didn't go anywhere, and it didn't make sense anymore. But I'm so glad to hear that Reno 911 is still going to, because they resurrected after 10 years, Reno 911 and a bunch of other properties. They're looking to sell their content in their shows. So look for. I'm sure it's all going to end up on Hulu or something. So if you see a flux, and actually they were short form shows. They were like 11-minute shows, and they weren't bad. The few that I watched when I was on my trial, and then canceled like everybody else. But also the big one, pour one out for Adobe Flash. This one hurts a little bit. I took at least 2 quarters of school on working in Adobe Flash when I was in the early 2000s. I taught animation at the Pittsburgh Technology School. What the hell were they at the time? They're PTC now, PTI, whatever. Yeah, okay, I don't know what letters they are these days. We taught animation principles using Flash. And it's gone. All your new grounds are not going to work. Homestar Runner finished their game from 15 years ago. Just in time for Flash to shut down. I don't know if you can convert a game from Flash easily. Necessarily. Definitely not the Shockwave. That's kids. Shockwave was like Flash, but it was also by Macromedia, which also it got bought by Adobe. It doesn't matter anymore. Just most of those got turned into YouTube videos. Should I uninstall it? I don't know if I have it installed at this point. I did have a pop-up that before I reformatted the studio computer for a while because I needed Flash for some tool I was using. But it's gone. it took 10 years. Steve Jobs' dream of killing Flash finally happened. Yeah, pour one out. Do you guys have any fond Flash memories?
I can't say that I have very many fond memories other than, like, maybe throughout the years, seeing how quicker and quicker the necessary Flash updates would be as Wi-Fi transitioned into faster speeds. That's about all I can really think of. Other than that, for somebody that has as much like tech and beeps and boops and things, like, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to like the inner workings of how a lot of it works. So, if something pops up on my computer and it's like, you need to download this, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm very much like like Zoolander, the files are in the computer. Like that's me a lot of the time when it comes to things. Yeah. Well, no, to answer your question, no.
What about you, Katie? Any fun Flash memories?
No, because all I can think of is like, you need to download Flash for this. I'm like, I've already done that. I've already updated. I've already done the things. Leave me alone. I'm switching browsers.
You guys didn't discover Homestar Runner and Idiots Anonymous and the Badger song in animated Flash?
I knew all of that stuff, but I didn't really realize that it was like Flash. It was just like, oh, these are funny cartoons on the internet.
Before there was YouTube and we could stream video, that's how you did animation, because the whole idea was it was all vector, which means numbers for you guys out there that don't do graphic work, which means that you downloaded this file that said that pretty much think how you generate a 3D video game on your computer. It kind of generated a 2D cartoon. I guess they did 3D eventually too. Yeah, so that was basically it. So it was easy on your slower, again, pre-YouTube connections to watch this full screen cartoon or play Flash video games, or anything like that. Again, the Newgrounds stuff where it was just like a creator's, it was YouTube for Flash creations, right?
Yeah.
Some very lewd that I'm recalling right now that I won't say on the air. Listen, man, it was like high school, and
I should have brought a glow stick. We could have done. I could have flicked the lights on and off and twirled it. You could have said the system is down. The system is down to go out on it.
Yes, I mean, again, I'm pretty sure all these have been converted into videos on YouTube. So if you want to look up Newgrounds, you want to look up Homestar Runner, I'm sure they're all there. It was quote unquote the good old days. At least oh god, entire Flash websites. Oof, it's movie websites I'm remembering. The Donnie Darko website, that was this weird meta game that you played through. It was real wild stuff that they were doing back then. So I'm catching up. My chat room finally refreshed on the chat room. Steve out there, who does Yinzer bartender over on Bold Pittsburgh, loves going to the grocery store. Can't let others shop for my food. I prefer to pick out what I'm eating. I'm pretty sure that bugs the shit out of my wife when she's like, I gotta get my own produce. I'm like, man, well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's mostly fine.
Yeah, I totally get it. So far, so good. In all of my online grocery shopping, I haven't had anything weird come in or anything, but like I've been doing it all at Whole Foods, and they tend to like have like okay produce. So far so good, but eventually all good things come to an end, and I'm sure something's gonna get messed up eventually. But that's life. Them's the Blakes.
In case anybody's curious, nobody asked, but my Instacart go-tos are Aldi's, and we've creeped in some Target for like stuff that they don't have at Aldi's. Like there's dog food that they don't have. Or my dog is getting dog food from Thailand. How did that happen?
Okay.
He's eating better than I am. Anyways, like I got his food. I'm just like, what is this got pumpkin and quinoa in it? What is this? No wonder you're losing so much weight. Yeah. Won't someone think of Flash? So, anyways, on that note, Sykes, it's so great to catch up with you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me come on and let me talk about my nonsense for a little bit and chat about, Mortal Kombat and Pop-Tarts and hey, good things.
That's
good time.
You think this is our wrestling show with the rat holes we were going down. Thank you for calling out the rat holes in the chat room as well. So
hey, it's a podcast, right? That's what we're doing.
Mhm.
What's a podcast without rat holes?
Listen, man, we barely talked about wrestling the first 5 years of our wrestling show, so it's what we do. This show was amazingly focused when we started it. So, again, where can people find out things that you do?
Normalcreatures.net. Normalcreatures.net. Check it out.
There you go, and check out the stream Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time that they got rolling out there. Katie is doing social media things. She's dressing up on her social medias lately, I understand.
I was fancy the other day. Yeah, I decided to be fancy for New Year's Eve, despite the fact that I would, was in my living room to celebrate. But that works for me. I can be fancy at home.
Yeah, were you dressing up? Like, I imagined you were sitting there in that dress, just watching the ball drop on your couch.
No, I literally put the dress on for the photos and then changed into pajamas. Back into pajamas, I should say.
Nobody needs to know that. Nobody needs to know that.
No.
Everybody has a fancy book. You should have all just like put on suit jackets and got on a meet, and then we're like, look how fancy we are with our wine glasses that have Sprite in them. So, yes. But no, where can people check out what you're doing online? You're doing a great series over the last couple of weeks, of course. You're doing your cancer story about the first days of what you started going through just over a year ago.
Yeah, I started talking because I didn't really let anybody know that I had cancer. I was diagnosed last Christmas Eve of 2019, and I didn't tell anybody till March of 2020, really anybody, till March of 2020. And so like there was a whole bunch of things that happened between obviously December and March.
Yep.
And I think that people need to know what like the real cancer journey looks like versus like what they tell you on Grey's Anatomy. We'll throw back to that.
I don't know the Grey's Anatomy version of cancer.
It's clean. Everybody looks pretty healthy. It's wham bam, you either die or wham bam cured.
It fits in 42 minutes.
Yeah.
So go check that out. Good reads, and again, very informative, and a lot of people on their year end shout outs for the year. We're calling out Katie's positivity throughout the year. With everything going on. So
that's awesome.
And thank you. I was pulling old clips you may have noticed the last couple of days I had to fill in some space on the TikTok. It's fun to kind of see, that process as well. So thank you, everybody. We are going to go out for you guys on the stream, on the podcast with the song is 666 Ghost by Normal Creatures, and please go check that out. And Sykes, is this going to be available on Spotify and all the great streaming platforms as well? How do people get the album?
Yeah.
I don't think we said that.
I mean, if you go on the website, there's the pre-save link. You can pre-save it on Spotify, Apple, Bandcamp, literally everywhere you stream music. And if you're somebody that's into physical media, we did release the album on vinyl, LP, compact disc, and cassette tape.
Awesome.
All formats covered.
Fantastic for all you classical physical media nerds out there, and this is the show for that. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. We are scheduled to have we're keeping it musical. We're scheduled to have the Button Pusher, an old friend also from my rap days, who does an amazing Grind City Roku channel that actually we contribute to for IndieWrestling.us. So so there's your homework to check out what that is. It's on Roku, Android, a bunch of platforms. Look up Grind City. So we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna get a few different faces on here, hopefully in 2021. I got the first 2 weeks down, I guess. So here's that song. I will mostly guys next week. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week.
You speak defiantly because your body is protected, but admit your thoughts are troubled.
it's like tobacco in the cheek. All these fake fucks front like they can handle the heat, but when they jump in the bed, it's all Tabasco in the sheets. And ain't nothing to pop your top button. Quit your day job and throw your savings in the oven. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. Don't need the stress of a sanitized mess. Crooked frame on the wall, goddamn, we're blessed. Underwork egos in the overwork flesh. Best better rather not wear the S on my chest. You can't buy this feeling, in debt to the ceiling, but I'm swimming in joy. Oh boy, call my chameleon. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
Standing at the edge,
Up the earth and I'm screaming.
all of my friends are hotels and demons. Standing at the edge,
Up the earth and I'm screaming.
all of my friends are hotels and demons.
Listen to the cliche, bring the blood spray. Those killers buzzing, they got a tiger, get fair play. Listen to Mella, my fella, is like a bush and umbrella. You feeling fine, I'm like hella. I got some good vibes to sell ya. If you're even looking, just wanna play them now. Been living kinda crooked, I got it straightened out. We had a dream, they took it. Who said they let them out? We had a chance and blew it, no longer feeling proud. Ain't too much better than the pleasures of the flesh, but these wounds leave lessons, so don't be stressing the test. No need sweat the blood, lying with the best. When you got the cheat code of life thumping in your chest. Cut it off, fight through the doubt. Some wounds just need the time to bleed. I don't know you think you really need it, but you don't. They say these scars will last forever, but they won't.
Standing at the edge,
Up the earth and I'm screaming.
all of my friends are hotels and demons. Standing at the edge,
Up the earth and I'm screaming.
all of my friends are hotels and demons.
Chasing nightmares, I don't care, I love it. 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 Ooh, I've been thinking about these demons.
And these demons been thinking of me.
I've been thinking about my reasons, and these reasons are like pliers with a grip on my teeth. Yeah, I've been thinking about these demons.
And these demons been thinking of me.
Been dreaming all about the monster out me. Once I get a real taste of flesh on my teeth.
The play that you say I am. Let the gods that they claim to be. Standing at the edge,
Up the earth and I'm screaming.
all of my